But first, a closer look at the scandals that have rocked the Oakland Police Department. At least 14 officers are under investigation in a sexual misconduct case involving a teenager. The city has also opened investigations into other police misconduct allegations, including racist texts sent by officers. Oakland has lost 3 police chiefs within 9 days amid the turmoil, and now some are questioning Mayor Libby Schaaf's ability to lead. The mayor sat down with us yesterday for a Bay Area exclusive one-on-one interview. Mayor Schaaf, thanks so much for being on the program. When and how did you first learn about the alleged sexual relationships between the Oakland police officers and the teenage sex worker?
I learned about them in March from the city administrator, Sabrina Landreth, but this is the type of incident that I should have been briefed on earlier, and that's why we are not just investigating the misconduct, but also the investigative process.
Oakland has had 3 police chiefs in 9 days. It currently has no chief. The city administrator is overseeing the department. Did you have a succession plan in place when you let Chief Shawn Wendt go?
The fact that Shawn Wendt went very quickly, that was not anticipated. And so we made decisions that we thought were the best at the moment. I have said that it was a mistake on my part to bring Ben Farrow in without having completely vetted him prior to announcing his appointment. But I do have confidence in our city administrator. Again, this is an appropriate time to exert some civilian oversight over the department, but also of the men and women of the police department itself. They are just as outraged and disgusted by this scandal as I am.
Can you tell us why the 3rd chief, Paul Figueroa, quit?
Chief Figueroa submitted his resignation, stating that he was unable to perform the duties of the job.
Did he say why?
He did not go into details, and I know that it has been frustrating for the public, and believe me, it's frustrating for me.
Did you ask him for details?
Can I finish answering your question without interruption?
Sure.
Thank you. It has been frustrating for the public, and it is frustrating for me that state law prohibits the sharing of personnel information of a police officer, and that protection extends to the chief. And so I have been as open and transparent as I am legally allowed to be, but it is frustrating that the public will never understand all the details.
Do you think sexual misconduct personnel files should be made available to the public? Currently, state law bars it from being made public.
I believe that there's a lot of room for improvement to the current levels of protection that police officers have to their privacy. I believe that the public does have a right to know more than they are getting to know right now.
So State Senator Mark Leno now is considering putting forth a measure before voters that would allow that, give more public access to misconduct and discipline files for law enforcement officers. Is that something you would campaign for?
It's something that I will give careful consideration to, particularly in light of the experience that I have had over the last month.
There are 3 officers whose reputations have been tarnished in some respects because of this. Do you have any second thoughts about how you handled this situation?
I do things that I believe are in the best long-term interest of the city of Oakland. Sometimes that feels painful in the short term, but I always look to the long-term interest of my hometown.
Your office is now investigating who leaked information, particularly to the media. Is that the best way to use resources and time?
Typically, the public learns about these types of offenses when someone is arrested or charges are brought. We are still in the middle of this investigation, but because the media has publicized a certain version of events, when we conduct an interview of a witness after that publicity has been released, a lawyer can later use that fact to discredit the testimony of the witness. And that is why we believe it's in the public's interest to not share these types of details about the investigation until it's completed.
It's become evident that this sexual misconduct had been going on for a while, and a lot of people within the department seem to know about it. And yet no one came forth to tell you about it.
I have talked a lot this week about what I believe is a toxic macho culture. And That's why it's important we not just look at our recruiting and screening practices, not just at who is becoming a police officer, but the culture once they're in the department, a culture of not coming forward and reporting misconduct. That is something that I'm very serious about getting underneath and reforming.
Some community groups are also calling for your resignation. Your response?
This is a great democracy. I love being an American because people are free to protest, to criticize their elected officials. That is part of the democratic process. I similarly am hearing tremendous amounts of support from the community who appreciate the stance that I've taken, who have confidence in the action plan that we have put forward, and know that they are represented by someone who cares deeply about this city.
And I take it then, for the record, you have no plans to resign.
I am not planning to resign at this time, no.
This scandal comes as the department is still trying to end 13 years of federal monitoring. That's due to the brutality and false police reports that were brought forth in the Riders case. Why should Oakland residents have any confidence that the department's problems can be fixed under your administration?
Well, it is frustrating. I think it is known that we were actually in negotiations around ending the court oversight when this scandal broke. And obviously, this does set back those discussions.
Do you think that perhaps it's time for the police department to be placed under federal receivership? Would the Oakland residents be better served?
No, the Oakland residents are best served when the people that they elected to run the city are in fact running it.
Looking back over your past year and a half as mayor, especially over the past 2 weeks, is there anything that you wish you had done differently?
I feel very good about every decision that I have made, and we have continued to make our decisions in the best long-term interest of this city and through our values of openness, honesty, and integrity. And that clarity of vision and commitment has very much helped guide me through these last difficult 2 weeks and will continue to guide me in everything I do as the mayor of Oakland.
Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.